for fall yet. It's September and everybody is going bonkers already. Like, we are ready for cold weather. Oh my god, and fall colors, fall makeup, fall jackets, everything. It's so exciting. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is meribahMUA. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on social media at meribahMUA on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook. I look forward to having you at my channel. So today's video, I just want to talk about foundation, how to match your foundation, different types of foundation, and basically just everything that I can banter about foundation. So let's get started. Alright, so first thing I want to talk about is the different types of foundation that are on the market currently. There's like different mediums. So we have like a powder foundation, stick foundation, and then you have liquid foundation. Also, there is like gel foundations, and this one is by Tarte. With that too, there are whipped mousse foundations. I don't own one of those just because I don't like the consistency. I feel like anytime you wear a mousse foundation, after you have your primer on and then you apply it, the foundation kind of pills. What I mean by pills is if you've ever like put on lotion and then put on another lotion on top of it, and you get those like white little chunky pill things, that's what I mean by it'll pill. So it's basically like two products coming together that are like fuck no, and they fight and they roll up into a little ball on your skin, and you end up having to like flake it off, and it's really gross. So anyway, so those are like the different types of foundations, like the basic. Now there's different formulas of foundations. There's water-based foundation and silicone-based foundation. Example of a an example of a water-based foundation is this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea water foundation. This foundation is super light coverage. However, it is just very natural looking, and it's basically just if you want some coverage but you don't want to look cakey. So I would say it almost goes on like a lotion, like it's like a tinted lotion. With this type of foundation though, you cannot use a silicone primer. They will not work together. You need to be using a water-based primer. So like the Too Faced Hangover RX primer would be a perfect match for this. The Benefit Pore Professional primer might work with this, but when you're getting into like the Smashbox Photo Finish silicone primer, it's probably not gonna work with this. They're not gonna get along. Now, a silicone-based foundation, let's see, I believe, I would have to look at the ingredients, but I believe something like this, like the ESTEE Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup, this is going to be silicone-based, which means it's not cut with water, it's cut with like silicone, so that way it adheres to the skin, giving you more like full coverage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this one is not water-based. Same as like the Luminous Silk Foundation by GIORGIO ARMANI. I'm sure everybody's heard of this by now. This is one of the top foundations on the market. This one is not like water-based either. Something that is very light though too would be like the JOSIE MARAN Vibrancy Foundation Fluid. This was very popular when it came out. It does make your skin look very radiant, very natural. So anybody who likes foundation but they don't like cakey, they don't like full coverage, they don't like medium coverage, they just want to kind of get an even skin tone, these two I would definitely recommend. They're very beautiful, they're very vibrant, they're light. I would apply these with a beauty blender, not a brush. Again, you apply something with a brush so you're trying to make it look natural, it may end up streaky. So a damp beauty blender would be best for these, because then it's going to give you that natural skin-like finish. And then you can always set it with a little bit of powder if you want to, or don't, and just like go about your day. Talking about like different textures and everything. We have the stick foundations. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, and then we have the Hourglass stick foundation. These are both very popular, so I mean, I would recommend these. I did not like the Hourglass foundation at first. It made my skin look really dry and patchy, but it was the primer that I used. I used like a very light watery primer. When I use the Benefit Professional primer with this, it goes on perfectly. This is actually what I have on today. And it's easy, and you don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. And likewise with this one too, this is a very skin-like finish. Both of these are very skin-like finish, and the coverage is buildable. So if you want like coverage with these, you can just put a little on, blend it out. If you want full coverage, cake your face off and then blend it out. I do think that this one does make me look a little shiny, so I will make sure that I'm setting my makeup after this. So after I've done concealer and liquid, whatever that I'm using, I always want to make sure I go over this with powder because it is really shiny on me. I don't know. I have pretty normal skin now. I take really good care of my skin, so I don't have like dry patches or oil, but this just makes me shiny. I think it's the formula. Also with these are great to travel with. I feel like when you travel with something like this, because it's glass, it's kind of terrifying. Like, what if this breaks and just blows up and explodes everywhere all over your shit? Whereas these, they're very, you know, they're stick. They're not gonna go anywhere. The only thing though with these is it's still makeup. So if this is in a solid form now and you leave it in the heat, it's gonna melt. So like, I would not keep this in your purse and then accidentally leave your bag in the car during the summer. Like, you wanna make sure that this is staying at room temperature. So with these stick foundations too, again, I think I mentioned this. Am I going crazy? I think I might be. But same thing, like a silicone foundation base, anything that's gonna fill your pores rather than act like a moisturizer. So I would recommend these with the same like silicone foundation. Then next, something really cool that doesn't get love at all is the Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation. And I'm gonna open this because it's not gonna spill. You can see this is like a really thick gel. I love this foundation. I brought this with me to Italy, and we went to France and Spain also. Got up early every morning and did my makeup, and I used this every day. It didn't make my skin break out. It lasted all day long, and we were walking around Italy, like, I mean, as you can imagine, when you go to Rome, you are walking around all day trying to see everything between the Colosseum and the Vatican and everything. So this lasted all day. I didn't sweat it off, and it was really amazing, and it just has buildable coverage, so you can go light or heavy with this, and I like that because you can kind of control. I think that this goes well with the silicone based primer, and also the application that I would use for this is a brush, like a thick dense brush, and then buff that out, or a beauty blender always works too. I forgot to mention with the stick foundation, buffing these out with a brush I think works well, a dense brush or a beauty blender. Then something that when we go into even lighter coverage, we have like the CC cream. This is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Illumination Color Correcting Illuminating Full Coverage Cream with Anti-Aging Hydrating Serum, and it has SPF 50. That's a fucking mouthful, man. This stuff, I don't really consider this like a color corrector. This feels like foundation to me, because it can be full coverage if you build it. But I really like this because it does leave your skin looking very dewy natural. I would apply this with a beauty blender, or a, I don't know, like a thick dense brush, and then I'm like big on the beauty blender. Like, that's just that's what I like. But this comes in light, medium, and dark, so there's not any shade range, but they have the CC bronzer, and I know this looks super metallic-y and you're like, what the fuck? But it's really just like a really dark brown, so if you need to make whatever shade darker, you can just use this and that'll kind of build it. and this says Bronze Glow. I love adding this to make any of my foundations darker when I have like a spray tan or whatever during the summer, because this is just, it really adds like that deep color that you need to kind of correct the shade if you spray tan or if you're darker or whatever. So yeah, so for like full coverage, high-end foundations that I love would be the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, the Estee Lauder Double Wear, the NARS Luminous foundation, and then this Too Faced Born This Way. This was really popular when it came out. The cool thing about the Too Faced Born This Way too is they are coming out with more shades for darker skin tones, which I think is amazing. I think all brands need to recognize every skin tone and cater to them, regardless if it hurts their pockets. Quit being selfish, come out with darker skin tones, like equality. But yeah, so this is a very like light, natural looking finish. This is easy to apply. Use a silicone primer with this. You can apply this with a brush, beauty blender. It's really great. I just started using the Estee Lauder Double Wear. The only thing that I will say in photos, like, it looks like mannequin skin. Like if you build it up and you do full coverage with this, you can't see your pores, which is great. But if you're wearing like a tank top and you just have like a mannequin face and then you look more like porous here, it just kind of looks weird. So that was the only thing I didn't like about this, and that's just, you know, trial and error a little bit goes a long way with this one, and you can build this up. But if you do end up taking this to the extreme with full coverage, the contrast is very weird from like natural to your face. Then the Luminous Silk Foundation, kind of touched on this already. I don't think I really need to say anything about this. If you haven't tried this and you're looking for a hands down, easy, awesome foundation, this one's amazing. It's exactly what it says. It's luminous and it makes your skin look like skin, but with coverage. And I think it retails pretty high. I think it's like 65 bucks, but it's worth it. This one's probably expired, but I'm still using it. I bought this over a year ago and I haven't gone through it all. I have tons of foundation, so I'm not using this every day, but I was using this every day and I loved it. You get lots of compliments on your makeup looking very natural. So if you like that, this is an awesome one. Also recently I discovered the NARS Luminous foundation. Super late to this. This is amazing. I need to buy this in a lighter color because it's just that good. I want to wear this all year round. It's exactly what it says. It's weightless. It really is. And you can build coverage on this, or you can go light-handed and it still gives you full coverage. It's just an amazing formula. I know there's been a lot of controversy around NARS because they're no longer cruelty-free. However, I did speak with a NARS representative at Sephora. She didn't work for Sephora, she worked for NARS, and she was in the Sephora promoting their new liquid lipsticks. She said any NARS purchases inside the United States are cruelty-free. It's only if you're purchasing in China that they have to test on animals. Because that is part of their laws, but anything that is manufactured or made in the US is not being tested on animals. That's what she said. I asked her if that was like verifiable information. She said yes. I said, well, why hasn't NARS like actually came out and made a statement about that since they were getting so much shit online? And she was like, I don't know. I think they are going to, and they're just waiting for the right time. So I don't know if they already made a statement on that. I don't know if that's factual information, but that's what a NARS representative said to me. Did not get her name, but it was at the Sephora in Las Vegas in like the Cosmo or something. Yeah, so really like this one. It's great. And then for let's see, for powder foundation, my favorite is the Airbrush Flawless Finish foundation. This is just so beautiful. I've already hit pan, and the packaging, like, it's so pretty. It's rose gold, and it does exactly what it says. It gives you an Airbrush Flawless Finish. This stuff retails kind of high. It's like $40-something for this, which is like, fuck. But it is amazing, so that's why. Then true staple for me in my collection is the Makeup Forever Let's see, multi-use powder foundation. This is way too dark for me. This is when I have a little bit of spray tan on, and this is actually a little too yellow even then. But this is a really good powder foundation to put on in the morning, you know, for just quick all over buff. And yeah, I wouldn't necessarily use this as a setting because it is pigmented, but for all over the face it works really well. Alright, so those are like my favorite powders, my favorite liquid foundations for like different formulas. And then I do want to talk about drugstore. Believe it or not, there are some good drugstore foundations. First go-to is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This has SPF 15, radiant finish, normal dry skin, hydrating. That's true, it is very hydrating, it's very radiant, just has really good coverage, you can build it. I have this in every shade, so that way if I ever need to use it on a client, I have their shade. You can buy these in bulk on Amazon, and they're cheaper. And yeah, a lot of times these are sold out in stores. So I know there's the matte finish, but I haven't tried that one because I feel like matte just kind of makes people look dry. And if you're adding powder on top of a luminous foundation, then you're kind of getting that matte look. So yeah, I like this. It's pretty small. There's only 1 fluid ounce in each. But you know, you can always mix this with something else. And then that brings me to the MILANI Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation Concealer. This is in the shade Natural. Look how dark and yellow this is. I don't know if you can see. Okay, so with that being said, MILANI, you guys need to come out with lighter shades. Like, they're way too yellow tinted for fair skin. I can wear this when I tan, or I can offset it with another lighter foundation. So with that being said, that is something that you can do, is you can mix foundation. So like if I like this formula but I need this shade, I'm gonna mix 2 of these. There's nothing wrong with mixing foundations. If you haven't tried to mix some of your foundations, try it. Let me know what you think. I honestly think that's the way to get the perfect match, is to mix foundations. Or if you're lighter during the fall, but you want to use a darker foundation, like I said, mix it with something lighter. So next up, we have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This is in Soft Ivory, and look how white that is. But still, it's kind of like yellow. I don't know. Is it? Maybe not. But yeah, so Wet n Wild came out with this foundation this year, 2017, and it's pretty good. It has all over coverage for the price. I think it's like $5, and you can get like full coverage out of this, and it's buildable. I'm gonna apply these all with a beauty blender. I've only used this a few times, so I can't say like I absolutely am in love with it. I need to try this more. Now that I'm not fake tanning and this is super pale, I think I can mess with this more and let you guys know more what I think. But if you see this on stores and you need something that's just cheap and good to go, get this. Then the Maybelline Fit Me line. This is a powder, a pressed powder. There's tons of shades, and it comes with a mirror in the bottom, but this is a really good powder. I would compare it, I would say it's a dupe for the Makeup Forever. It just has a really nice finish. It's affordable. It says matte and poreless, normal to oily. I wouldn't say that it leaves you poreless, like nothing leaves you poreless. You're always gonna have pores, unless you sit there and like pack in primer and let it sit and then pack in makeup into your pores, literally. But it definitely leaves a nice finish. I would say, again, it's a dupe for the Makeup Forever, and I would just apply this with a fluffy brush all over the face. Stuff like this is great to have for when you're in a hurry in the morning, you don't have a lot of time to do your makeup, but you need some coverage. I would definitely go for that. Again, it's affordable. So some foundations that I wasn't really sold on, or that I liked initially, and then over time I was like, this is not working, is the All Nighter Urban Decay Waterproof Long Wear Liquid Foundation. So this foundation is super thick, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. I found that this really clung to my dry patches after a while of it being in my like makeup collection. So like it's really great when you first buy it, and it has like super full coverage, like as you can see. But after a while, if your skin has any dry patches, it's gonna cling to them. And then also this oxidizes. So this is this color now, and then it's gonna be more yellow in a few minutes. And I'm just not a big fan of something that doesn't work consistently the same over time. I want all of my foundations to be good all the way throughout their life, not just good for the first few uses and then it's shit. So, and I kind of had the same experience with this. This is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Total Cover. This is in the Classic Ivory. This is like a concealer, and they're saying it's like a foundation. So it says it's full coverage, weightless feel. I just put a little bit onto my hand. I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it here. But it's super like full coverage, and once you buff it out, it is very like weightless feeling. But getting it out of that tube is such a pain in the ass. And it clings to the dry patches, and it just looks really cakey once it oxidizes, as does the Urban Decay. So I feel like these two are very similar in formula. They go on pretty smooth, and you know, you're really excited, and then after a while it oxidizes, it looks cakey, it clings to your dry patches. There's no way you're gonna look natural with those foundations on, so I would definitely stay away from those regardless of the primer. Yeah, I don't know, I have them still. I don't know why I keep makeup I don't like. I feel like it's like you pay for it, so you don't want to get rid of it. So now that we've talked about, you know, different foundations, and I've told you about my favorites, you know, a common question is, well, how do you find the perfect shade? And you know, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think there is a perfect shade. I think that makeup companies have to do the best, and they come out with, you know, different shades, and it's not gonna match you completely. So when people always ask like, well, how do you pick your shade? Honestly, I just swatch it on like the inside of my wrist right here, because this is like the lightest part of my body, and I believe that it's matches to like my neck. So I will swatch on my wrist, obviously not on this side because I have tattoos, but like on this side I will swatch here, and if it blends out and it, you know, can blend into the rest of my skin, I like that. That's how I try and match my shade. So that being said too, if you're like in the store, I would just take the foundation and swatch down your neck, so like from here to here. But like I also blend my foundation down into my neck because I want that consistency. I don't want to look like a floating head. I don't want to have this cut off here. So you can see how light my skin is. But here I have this blended all the way down here, so I don't look like a floating head. Because if this just cuts off right here and then you have no makeup down here, it just looks weird. Like, I don't know people that just stop their makeup right there. I'm gonna take my makeup all the way down my neck, but I do like to test makeup on my wrist because I feel like this is the same delicate skin transparency. I feel like these are like the most similar. That's me. That's how I figure out how to pick the perfect shade. After a while of buying like a fuck ton of foundation, you just kind of know like, okay, I'm ivory, or I'm buff, or I'm medium tan, and you can just kind of pick that. However, if you buy something and you're like, oh, that's not my shade, fuck, and you like don't want to return it, or you can't return it, again, just mix foundations. A lot of pro makeup artists, they will support that statement in that there's no perfect foundation formula, but you can take your two favorite foundations and mix those, and you might find that the shade matches you better, the formula is better, and that's something to try. So that's all I have to say about foundation. I hope I didn't talk too much or confuse you by what I was saying. If If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. Let me know what your favorite foundations are, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. If you have a dupe for any of these, please share that with me. I would love to know. I'm always trying to find dupes. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Also, you can follow me on social media at meribahMUA on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. Bye.